Welcome to another edition of HDPR Live. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin. Today, I'm very excited to have a guest that's going to really open our eyes to what is happening in the way of how technology can be used to support fleets. You know, when you think about it, technology has become a real powerful tool that's enabled us to maintain commercial vehicles in a way we probably couldn't even dream of 30 years ago. And so today we've got Brian Mulshine from Navistar here, and he's going to talk to us about their OnCommand and International 360. Brian, welcome to HDPR Live.
Hey, thank you very much, Jamie. Really excited to be here.
So you're the director of customer experience at Navistar, and you were tasked with the job of bringing together a bunch of technology to be able to solve a big problem. What problem were you guys trying to solve with this technology?
You know, when you really go back, going back in when we started with the OnCommand connection platform, the advanced remote diagnostics, before I even started that project, I sat in with a number of very large fleets. I really enjoyed the fleet let me sit and work in their call center for 3 days each. And what I wanted to do is understand the day in the life of a customer. And I was actually embarrassed what we put a customer through. When I look at, I remember this, it was 17 different websites they used in a day. And when I looked at a fleet, we got to always, what I tend to try to do is I design something the way the customer works, not the way the OEM wants you to work. And I want to make sure that we try to solve not just my problem, but your problem as a customer. How do you make it where you don't have to go to 17 different systems, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, as you said that, it reminds me one time I got into a conversation. It got a little heated, but one of our employees said, and I was working for a parts company, and he said something along the fact or the line of, if it wasn't for those darn customers, we could get some stuff done around here. And it's like, you can't have that attitude about your customers. It's not all about making it easy for you. It's about making it easy for your customer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Let me on that one there. I remember talking to a large fleet, and he says, "What are you going to do? I gotta make this a little bit cleaner. Are you going to show me another trucking website?" In other words, we were trying to say, "I don't want another page." I'm like, "I understand that. I'm going to take 17 and put it into one."
Right. Well, that kind of has already answered my question. My next question was like, why did you decide to make all these tools, kind of bring them all together? So obviously there was just, it had probably grown over time. I'm guessing that, you develop one feature and then another feature, and you just add another tab and another tab, and all of a sudden you've got this monster. Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah, and you get me excited because I could tell you the release dates of the next features coming. And it's just amazing what we're about to launch. Every 3 weeks, we work in we call sprints, and I've got an incredible development team and our business partners, and even my internal team. We listen to the customer. We go out, we visit, we train them. And the customer could be even our dealers. We got to make sure we're listening to our dealers to make sure their process is easy, and then we got to listen to our customer to make sure they can manage the trucks easier and don't overcomplicate it. And then we come back and we prioritize, and we actually have a prioritization process to where we prioritize the customers, the dealers, and our internal requests, and we slip them all together. So the number one from a customer, the number one from a dealer, the number one from internal. So this way we're always bringing fairness to everybody to make sure we're getting the things addressed quickly for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let's kind of go through a service event. And while we're talking about this, the audience, if you want to participate, if you want to comment on anything you're hearing, or tell us a little story of what you've experienced, and if this is resonating with you, go ahead and comment, especially if you're on LinkedIn, and we will try our best to share your comments and be able to allow you to participate in the conversation. So, Brian, let's go through that service event. I'm a fleet. I've got a driver out there. They've broken down on the side of the road with all this new technology we're talking about, consolidating it. And how are you going to help them? What happens next?
Yeah, when I look at it, when I think about a customer, you think about an owner operator or a larger fleet, and I'm going to really go in the life of a larger customer, somebody with more than 50 vehicles. And what I'll do is I'll share my screen here. I think you got it here. Primarily the customer can have a dashboard where they can see a summary of all their vehicles. Down below, they can see it down to location. But what's interesting, just magic oven, I'll come over here you can actually search for a specific vehicle. And so you can drill into it. And it can be all makes. We designed this product to be, how does the customer operate? So we'll put every type of product in here, because of this way you can have one platform. This vehicle here has an after treatment fault, and it's in the middle of Kansas. So what's really neat about this product, I can take the vehicle, I have the address, and this one here is a Kenworth with a Cummins engine. It's coming in from a telematics provider called Geotab. We integrated this to 30 of the leading telematics providers in North America. And for a customer, we can take a fault code, provide you the fault code, and then we'll just take it. If you hit on the map, we'll tell you where's the vehicle at, and also we'll tell you where the nearest dealer is. That actually, this is a Kenworth dealer that's half a mile away. We'll show you the Cummins distributor and the nearest international dealer. Our goal is to also bring you to there. So as a call center worker, we actually integrated the telematics data to a global industry of all the different products. But also it goes further, because you might say you need a hotel for the driver, or you might want to say, I need a towing vendor for the driver. And so you can go right in and find all the towing vendors, or a tire vendor, or a truck stop, or Fleet Services will show you your nearby vehicles in case you want to repower the load. So we really want to make it to where everything is a click away. And you can also put in, I call Fleet Services, you can put in your own shops or terminals or own vendors. We provide you that ability with our product.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you, we can share your screen again when we start to talk about the kind of the next phase of it, but I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. So is this something that they have to call into like a Navistar dealer, and then the Navistar dealer is going to tell them this information, or is this something that they have a login themselves as the fleet and they can manage their own fleet and get all that information themselves?
Great question. OnCommand connection is no charge for the customer. When I say that, no charge from Navistar. The only thing, it depends on their telematics provider. They might have a fee to port the data to us. So there's no charge for this platform. So that's why we have nearly 500,000 vehicles and over 7,000 customers on this platform. So we're really excited. Every 30 minutes, we have about 500,000 vehicles, always updating every 30 minutes. The product itself, this is what I'm showing is the customer side. Mm-hmm. But our dealerships, if you call any of our dealerships, they can put in a VIN number into their service portal, and they will see the fault codes on the vehicle. And we built our service portal to be all makes also. So because of about 25 to 30% of our dealers' business is all makes. So they can put in the VIN number of a Volvo truck or a Freightliner truck, and they'll be able to see the fault codes on it, because that vehicle has an Eaton transmission or a Allison, or it has a, we see the fault codes from any make, and they can address the problem because they have the right information at the dealership or the customer. It's free. If they go to oncommandconnection.com, a customer can self-register and create a portal, and it gives you the instructions on porting your data from the 30 different telematics vendors.
Okay, that makes sense. It's great that they'll be able to call in, because I can just think of a scenario where it's like Friday afternoon, and your dispatch or your fleet maintenance manager that you would normally phone from the road and say, hey, I got a problem, and they would go in and log in for you and tell you all the information you need, and they're not available. So it's like, now what do I do? Well, you call the local dealership with a quick Google search. You know, you might be in an area where you're unfamiliar. You can still get access to all that information as the driver and kind of figure out what to do. So that's great. Is there a mobile application, or is it desktop only?
No, well, you say desktop only. I'd rather say it differently. The application, both OCC, OnCommand Connection, and International 360, are written in a language called responsive design.
Okay.
And so, in other words, it reformats to work on a cell phone, iPad, or a computer. What's the benefit of that? I've had other vendors say, well, what information is available on your mobile app? Because some of those vendors were limiting it to the mobile app.
Right.
What's nice is it's always up to date. All the features that are in the main portal are available on your phone as well.
Yeah, and you can actually test that. You can take it like on your desktop, and you can minimize the window and then scale it across, and you'll watch everything move. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Tell me about this fault code action plan. I'd like to learn more about that.
Yep, sure thing.
Do you want to share the screen again?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Sure.
So what we can do is we can take a look at, let's take a look here at let's take a look at this vehicle here. I'm going to drill into a fault, and here's the fault code action plan. So what will happen is we're trying to bring in all the information about the fault. Number one, what we do is we take the SAE language. That's a fault code follows, they call SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers. And sometimes it's not easy to understand. So what we do is we put it in English terms, diesel exhaust fluid tank system fault. Okay. So down below, we have information, the leeway, we should get that one fixed pretty quick because it'll probably go into a D rate. Where is the vehicle located? And it has an A26 engine. And then here is a diagnostic package. It'll walk you through the steps on how to diagnose it. But for the call center, it provides questions that you should be talking to the driver about. Is the mill light on? Is your coolant level low? It'll walk you through the questions. And then what it'll do is it'll provide any service tools that are needed for the repair. Also, it has all the parts that are needed. When I say all the parts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this one button, and it's going to say get fitting parts. It's going to take the part nomenclature and look up into our parts catalog, and it's going to come back with the part numbers that are fitting. And so it'll do that, and then it'll be parts radar. And what it'll do, what I just did is I looked up all the part numbers of all the different parts on this that are affiliated with that fault code. And if I hit on parts radar, and I'm going to say, give me a 240-mile radius of the truck, it looks at where the truck is. Sorry about that. I'm on a test server. So it'll actually give me the location.
Right.
I'm actually simulating a customer. So when I simulate a customer, it doesn't, because that customer, it's corrupting the ID. So this will give you a list of dealerships where the vehicle parts are at.
Okay. Jose here is asking about whether or not it's just for Navistar or if this is for all makes. We had talked a little bit about that before, but he might have jumped on the live broadcast a little later. Can you just kind of circle back and answer his question here?
Yeah. Hello, Jose. So yes, this product is all makes. But when you go into the parts, it really looks at the Navistar vehicle, but we will do it on primary components of all makes. So we can look at the part numbers, the system with fault code action plans. We are building out, we figured out a way to decode the data, and we can even get down to all makes on certain components. So it's primary, the system works for all makes, but when you then go into the fault code action plan, it gets richer information on our products. But on all makes, it'll give limited on major components.
Okay.
Hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So when it comes to this parts radar, this is enabling you to really minimize downtime. That's kind of the thought process behind that, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. The whole thing, when we can direct a customer and say, look, if you go to this, we have dealers, we have nearly 1,000 locations now around the country. And if we could tell you this place has the parts on the shelf, this one doesn't, let's get you to the place so we don't have to overnight ship the part in. We'll get you to the place that has the part there and ready to go.
Okay. So that's awesome, because you kind of, okay, we've had a breakdown event, but then we can actually immediately start planning, come up with a solution, find out where we're going to repair it, what hotel we're going to stay in, the parts are there, truck is fixed, next morning back on the road, and we've minimized the downtime, get that truck working again. That makes a lot of sense. So what is fleet health monitoring and advanced preventative maintenance? I was looking at some of the information you sent over, and I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. We have two we call premium solutions in the OnCommand connection portal. So if you come into, we call reports, we have a lot of different basic reports that are no charge. But then we've been working with some computer engineers on Hadoop, where we're taking all the fault codes, and we've been looking at which fault codes are causing vehicles to break down en route. And what we do then is start looking at time dating them and saying, look, these fault codes in particular, we've seen the highest en route failures, and these vehicles should be addressed. So we're able to say, these are the trucks you should focus on now. And what we do is with the fleet health monitoring, we spool the data every Sunday night on a big data server. And then we actually automatically email to everybody by Monday morning their reports so they can address their vehicles. We have about 20 fleets now live with the product, and we have some fleets that have said they've reduced their failures by up to 40%. They had a different way to measure. One fleet talked about a 40% improvement of on-road failures between breakdown. They had a different metric than what I was used to, but and then another lady that runs another large fleet said in one city they were averaging 23 en route failures across all brands. And now, because this is an all-make solution as well, they are going from 23 down to 3 failures per month. And
wow.
So so what they're doing is they're scheduling the work in and not letting it fail. They're scheduling it before it fails.
So, Brian, we got a little bit of a reaction here. I'm going to show this right now. This is a good friend of mine, Jim. Met him down at TMC in Atlanta, and we connected right away. What an awesome guy. Here's his reaction to everything we're talking about. Jim runs actually auto body repair and in Philadelphia. So I could imagine that the free part of OnCommand would really help him if he was looking for a specific part, something when he's fixing a Navistar truck that's come through, that's been in a collision. He'd be able to use this, and that's awesome. And I think he agrees.
Yeah, no, and there are some great tools, even down to crash and body parts. Working with our dealership, I could walk you right in. And my biggest thing is, thanks for saying that, but also, is it Pats or is it Jeans? Geno's or Pats? Which is your Philly cheesesteak if you're in Philly?
All right, we'll see what Jim says here. What about the service request function? How does that work?
Yes, that's fantastic. And right here, if I go into, let me go back into the vehicle scans page.
Sure.
And what we have is we now have the ability that if you're looking at a vehicle on road, there's 2 different ways to do it. In some cases, you're starting to go through the list and address your concerns with your fleet. There's going to be a green button that's going to show up in 1 second here. My ID goes over many, many fleets.
While you're looking that up, Jim says Jim's.
Oh, Jim's. There you go. So there's going to be a couple different ways. This is the 360 portal here. I'm in the 360 portal, and I have this button here called Request Service. So I just click on this, and what's going to happen is I put in my unit number. Let's say a 211 is in it. Well, here's a unit 211, and I'm going to say I'm going to Miami, Rectine International. What's wrong with the truck? It gives you the most probable faults. Engine light is on all the time. I hit save. I added complaint 1 that quick. I could add a second complaint. You know, while I'm there, let me do a DOT save. So I just added 2 jobs. I hit next, and now I'm just going to say, when am I going to arrive? I'm going to arrive tomorrow. So I'll be there on Friday, and I'm going to say at 7 a.m. And I'm not being towed in. It gives me all the information, and I just hit submit service request. And when I hit this button, it builds a work order, and it's going to show up for the dealership in Miami, so they can start the dialogue with you and start the communication of the repair. So the same thing works right from the dashboard of, if you see a truck with a fault and the driver's calling in, you can click right off of this page as well. So it's able to give you a workflow right to the vehicle on the service. But what I'm going to do, if I hit service request, it's kind of interesting, is I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I just got to remember to go ahead and cancel it later.
Right.
Because what's going to happen is I just built a service request. This is the service request right here going. I'm simulating somebody from Hirschbach, and I just said I'm going to be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow into Miami. And in here, it gives me what's wrong with it. My engine light is on, my DOT inspection I want done. And then in here, there's a thing called a fleet profile. How do I want to be handled? And then asset details. And then it also has the vehicle's health. It's actually going into the customer's telematics, and it's pulling, they use Geotab. Where's the truck at right now? It's actually in Pennsylvania right now. So it's really close to Jim. And I can see the fault codes. So I can hit find parts. So I have all the information that quick. But what I'm going to do what I can do for the customer, I could say in here, I could then also at any time, working with the dealership, I could hit more or I could hit reply. And I'm going to say, this is a test case. This is a test RO. Brian Mulshine. So right now I'm sending the dealership a note and I'm going to mark it action required. And I hit send. And right now the dealership just got an action required sent to them. And they'll be saying, hey, this is a test RO. And they're going to say, thanks much. What do you want? So that quick, I'm communicating to all the Navistar dealer network.
Wow. Hey, look at this.
First, yep, they sure are. What's really neat, Jim, is if I just click on this parts link right here, it goes right to that vehicle for the parts catalog. And I know that you're in the body shop business, but let me just try this. So it brings the fast moving parts up for the truck. But what I can do is I can just go right over here to the detailed list, and I can go in here into cab, and I need air deflector, bunk, or what parts do I need? Let's go into the air deflector, and it's going to bring up all the parts for you right away. That quick, here's all the part numbers, one click away from the service information in 360. So that's how quick you can get the brackets. Here's the part number for the bracket that I just selected. Real simple to use.
Yeah. So everything that you've shown us so far, this is what's already live. Did you kind of allude to the fact that you might be breaking some news here about some stuff that's coming?
Yeah, it's really neat. I wonder if I should show. There's another tab coming on here called campaigns.
You want to show it?
30 seconds. Let me do this.
No problem. We can. My producer in the background's going stretch.
So what's really cool is I will see if I can jump into if I can go into our test environment, and my developer is going to hate me for this. Sorry, Raj. So what's really cool with this product here is, let me see if manage repairs. Yep. What's really exciting for the customers and our dealers, we're even getting the campaigns directly from Cummins Engine Company as well as Navistar. So we're going to have a new tab here called Manage Repairs. You have campaigns, recalls, and proactive repairs. So from here, we have a direct feed into Cummins' database as well as ours. And in the future, we'll probably be looking at all makes, even competitors' recalls and campaigns. So really exciting that this will help our customers. When you are going in for a repair, you have all the information right there.
That's awesome. Awesome. Brian, thank you so much for taking some time today.
One other thing, this is called newsfeed. The thing that's coming is when you have responses coming back, well, this is just like LinkedIn, the notes coming in, and you could actually see different notes coming in. And then once you acknowledge it, it'll let you know you're clean. So I could hit okay, and then my counter goes down up on the top. So this is a brand new feature that's coming, is the news feed, and we have the campaigns coming as well. So those are a couple of neat things.
Well, we're getting positive feedback.
No, we're real excited about the product.
Yeah. Right here too, Jose, he says, great session. When an OE supplier offers extended services through dealers, how does it relate to telematics? So I think we kind of talked a little bit about that, but obviously we need to maybe expand on that just a little bit more.
Yeah, so with this product, we have, if you look here at health, this ties into up to 30 different telematics providers. This one here is not hooked up. It's a customer Lanter refrigeration. But if I went in here to a larger customer, Mulshine Trucking, what happens is it hooks to the telematics units on the vehicle, and there's up to 30 different providers. So as a customer, if you tie into our factory installed device, which is automatically there, every vehicle built from June of last year, we have a very high-end computer that's on there. It's standard for 2 years, and we provide you all of the vehicle's health. Also, you can tap in to your own telematics. This is an OnCommand connection telematics unit. It just communicated a few minutes ago. So this came in 8 minutes ago. I see the position and the faults on the truck, and I can drill right into what parts and how do I fix the truck. So if you're not on OnCommand, you could be on OmniTrax, PeopleNet, Geotab, anybody. The same information will show up here.
Okay. So hopefully that answers Jose's question. Brian, thank you so much for being on our show today, really taking the time to show all of this. To connect with Brian, you can go to the show notes or can connect on LinkedIn. We rebroadcast these live broadcasts on heavydutypartsreport.com. So in the show notes of that, you will actually have a link to Brian's LinkedIn. And if they want to go and learn more, internationaltrucks.com, is that the best place for them to go?
Sure. And that, or they could email me anytime. My support team, we do webinars every day, all day. Also off my LinkedIn, there's a really cool overview video you can look in off my LinkedIn. It's a recent post. There's a video that I've recorded that goes high level, but then also you could email me and I could get a member of my support team to do live training for your team as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate the day.
My name is Jamie Irvin. I'm the host of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. This is another edition of HDPR Live. We're really excited to be broadcasting simultaneously to LinkedIn Live, to YouTube, and to Facebook. Rebroadcasts and replays are always put on heavydutypartsreport.com in the video section. Next week on HDPR Live, we are moving from Thursday to Friday next week, Friday, November 13th. We had a conflict in the schedule with our guests, so we had to move to Friday. It'll be 10 a.m. Mountain as usual. And we'll be interviewing Logan Luptake from Sales-I, where we're going to be talking about sales enablement tools to help you sell more heavy-duty parts. So that will be next week, Friday, November 13th, 10 a.m. Mountain, HDPR Live, another edition. And thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for everyone for participating in today's episode. We will talk to you very, very soon.